What's up? Okay. I'm not even gonna look at the chat tonight because I know somebody's gonna be stupid.
I love looking at the chat. I'm gonna mod this shit hard.
I don't want to get spoiled, so fuck that.
Alright, I think we're good now.
Hooray!
What? Me?
Alright, so
Don't.
what is the deal? Oh, here we go.
Oh, great. Okay. Here's how the show works today. Today we have a very special show because there's a lot of information floating out there that we can't really talk about, and the information we can talk about feels like old hat. So we're going to talk about some of that old information, and I'm assuming it's going to be a pretty short show because I'm not sure it's going to be the kind of captivating topics that are going to keep people enthralled for like 4 or 5 hours. But we did bring in a couple special guests to go over some notable topics, and we're going to cover as much as we can stuff that has been going on the past week. So, I mean, notably, we got the demo, right? What are everyone's impressions of the game and the demo? Let's start with that.
Why are you laughing?
Why? Yeah. What's?
Yeah,
There's nothing. I didn't say anything funny yet.
I'm just in a good mood. I'm not allowed.
I'm gonna get to the jokes later.
Oh, we're getting to the jokes. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
go first since everybody else, it's like crickets in here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Demo's really sick. I spent like so much time on it, and I got at least like 20 hours of casuals in so far. So I've been enjoying it a lot, even though none of the characters I really care about or aren't my style in the demo. But the game is going to be sick from what I've played.
How did the casuals go?
Sorry? You're cutting out. So like, I'm going to assume how are the casuals going is what you said.
Play with Zaf, right?
Yeah, I played with Zaf the most, but I also played with 2 other people from Montreal who played Batman and Wonder Woman, and Zaf and I would just play Lex Mirrors. So against, I mean, Zaf and I are really, really far ahead of everybody else just because like we've played other fighting games, but I don't know, when more people get better, I guess. Lex is just really gimmicky, so I just do really dumb stuff.
I mean, I only played casuals for I think 5 minutes. So, and it was today.
Wow.
I played with Vito, but yeah, as I said, it was like 5 minutes.
I played a bunch of Batman. I enjoyed the demo. Waiting, I want obviously more characters. I'm not really interested in any of the demo characters, but I played a lot of Batman.
And what about you, Black Cyborg?
I like the demo. It is very good. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm just kidding. But Batman's a lot of fun. I've been able to pull off some really good combos, so I'm pretty happy with that. Obviously, Jury, you know, I'm not very good at pulling off combos in Mortal Kombat, so when it comes to like the Injustice demo so far, I've done pretty well, like pulling off some of the like the 41%, 42% combos and stuff like that regularly, so I'm pretty happy with that. It makes me happy.
I think Kyle's mic's off.
Yeah, Kyle, are you done destroying our ears trying to fix your mic?
It's like he's playing with the cord.
R.I.P. and peace, my ears and his microphone.
Lex and Wonder Woman definitely aren't really my type of characters, but they're cool. I like how different everybody feels, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm trying to stall for time until fucking Kyle just decides to come back to the show.
I think Lex was definitely the weirdest character out of the demo. He was like, instead of being just a straight zoner, he was more setup based, and I'm wondering why they chose to put him in.
I don't know, because it feels like Batman and Wonder Woman were more like rushdown oriented, so giving a character that could like, I guess, kind of be gimmicky or stay away would be like a good balance. Plus, it'd be kind of dumb if they put like Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. So I guess they just left Superman out for like more to be desired for the actual game or something.
Maybe in this build, the Superman was, you know, had a lot of broken stuff at the time.
Maybe.
Yeah, I just took it as they wanted three like completely different feeling characters, and that's kind of how I look at them. But you never know why. But yeah, I don't know. It could also be that they didn't want to put Batman and Superman in because then nobody would buy the game. I mean, not nobody, but you'd have the casuals that buy or get the demo. No, like, oh, I got Batman and Superman. I don't need anything else. Well, this is a riveting conversation.
Yeah, I'm talking to Kyle right now.
The mic's not working.
No. Hold on,
I'm assuming he's not even home.
I don't know, but I don't. It's like hold on.
I mean, I didn't really get to play the demo that much, so at all.
Okay.
As you guys can actually tell. Did I win or I lost? I think I lost. I don't even know. I didn't pay attention.
So who
It's
do you
me.
like in the demo, Fearless?
I only played Wonder Woman. I haven't played anybody else, so
Do you like her? Do you like what she offers or what?
yeah, she's alright.
Can anybody hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, we gotcha.
Oh my gosh, this is like the most sensitive microphone cord in the history of sensitive microphone cords. So I'm gonna try not to touch it throughout the duration of the show.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I don't even know the combos in her sword stance. So
What combos?
Yeah, from
isn't
every
there one good combo? in her
her
Yeah.
sword stance looks overall mediocre.
In the corner. That's pretty much it.
So then, Kyle, from the demo, who do you like better, Wonder Woman or Batman? Since I know you were planning on maining both of them.
I think his mic just broke again.
Yeah, I think it broke again.
Son of a bitch. All right, Antiquarian. What did you say? Who do you main in the demo?
I've been mostly playing Batman. I plan to play potentially Nightwing in the main game, so I wanted to play a character that was of the gadget class, so he
Yeah.
interacted with the stage similarly to how Nightwing would. So I've just been putting all my time into Batman.
Am I
Yeah, that
good?
makes. Yeah,
Yeah.
Good. Who
that
cares?
makes sense.
Antiquarian. I'm back. Nah, I'm just kidding. Antiquarian, I think if he played Batman, he'd play a really good Batman. I bet he'd probably play like other good characters really well too. He seems to understand fundamentals and advanced techniques well. But for me personally, I was asked what if I main Batman or Wonder Woman.
Just what? Yeah, out of them in the demo, how they play in the demo, who did you like more out of those two?
I'm actually passing off my my Batman mantle. I'm not sure I'm going to be playing him in the main game. I played him, and I really just don't like the way he plays. There are a lot of things about his playstyle. Like I understand the bat rotation and his his pseudo zoning once he goes in for the dive kick mix-ups, and getting hard knockdowns and doing the glide mix-ups off of it are all good and dandy. But it's a playstyle that to me that wasn't necessarily what I was looking for. I was a lot more captivated by Wonder Woman's lasso stance. It offers a lot of great footsie tools, a lot of great range normals, and that range from mix-ups to anti-airs to spacing tools. She has good mobility. Not only does she have an air dash, but she has two other mobility options in the air. Like one, she can do a dive punch, which is diagonal. It's like a dive kick, and she also has a straight punch, which you can cancel almost immediately upon leaving the ground, like an instant square boost for katana, and you can punch somebody right in the face like immediately from full screen. It's sick. So she has a ton of mobility options, and she's got really good damage. She can do over 40% meterless off of low starters. She can do 40% meterless off of any jump-in punch very easily. In fact, it goes to the point where I mostly end up storing meter with her, and sometimes I'll go for like a mix-up where I'll do a block string like low into a meter burned overhead, which is good for mix-ups because it gives you that pseudo like Melina back 3 into EX roll like low overhead mix-up.
Yeah.
But if I don't feel like doing that, she has a great super for just like sort of like reptiles where you just wait for somebody to press something and then you super them. It's nice for that. So I've been stockpiling a lot of super because honestly, you don't really tax super or EX onto her combos to extend them because she does so much damage meterless anyway. But I really like Wonder Woman. She's great. She's a fantastic character. Well, the shield stance I think does like a couple things. There's some nice. I mean, and this could change in the final build because there's some strings that have good frame advantage. However, she loses so much mobility, so much utility, and so much versatility in the shield stance that it's hard for me to really say that you're not just better off in lasso stance. I mean, even with the chip, right? Say you want to be defensive and you want to say, okay, I'm going to play with the chip. It feels like if you're playing defensively, you still have the air dash to punish people, and you have the back two lasso hit with the lasso, the overhead. It's like a overhead from sweep distance. That you can go into, you can cancel into the lasso grab, and on block that's like plus 14. So even those defensive tools feel better than her sword and shield tools right now.
Yeah, the only thing I got from her sword stances, like besides like the one stance switch combo in the corner, when you do her shield throw thing and you meter burn it, you can extend your combo, but it's not really.
Yeah, but her combo's so good in lasso stance.
Yeah, it like her combo potential is so much better in lasso that like it's really pointless to go to sword unless like you don't want to take chip damage or something.
Sword's mobility's not even that great, so when you try to get in to go for the cross up that would leave for the combo, it's a lot more of a pain than to just bait them out using air dashes. And another thing that I really love about Wonder Woman is that she has like Melina's down 4 in the form of her down 3, and there's a really nice setup that you can do with Wonder Woman. It's been working like a charm. I've been using it on a bunch of people. It's great. Where you just poke for it lowers her hitbox. So strings will whiff on her and they'll get put into a knockdown state because it's a knockdown. It's like universal. So you do down 3 and you trip them, and then what you do is you jump up back, but then immediately instant air dash forward. So when you jump back, it puts you right about at a spacing when you air dash forward that she lands almost right on top of them, and it's extremely ambiguous. So even I couldn't tell you most of the time which side I'm landing on.
Yeah.
So you land on that, and then you do that after a sweep, and you can normally score a combo off that, or you can, and you can land with 3-3, which is a low starter. You can land with an overhead if you want. With the forward 3, you can land with 1-1 or back 1-1. It's all good options. So she's a really strong character right now. Like the forefront, the leading of the demo to me, Wonder Woman. I'm not really sure I'm going to be playing a ton of Batman, like in serious matches. I'll always love Batman, so I'll be playing him in casuals. But for serious matches, Wonder Woman fits me much better. She's a very solid character. Even being like a half a character, like even if you pretend she has no trait, she's an extremely solid character. But as far as I'm concerned right now, she has no trait.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I can't see the chat at all today. I can't see the stream or the chat. I don't know why that is, but if people are asking questions, if you guys could pick them up.
Don't worry. I'm looking at the chat at the same time.
Are they blowing up my mic?
No, I didn't even notice if anybody was. I was too busy trying to message you.
All right.
Nobody was.
Good. That we have a sympathetic stream chat tonight. Yeah, what do you guys think of the characters in the demo? I know some people were really uneasy about Luther's clunkiness and the fact that his setups aren't always like immediately obvious. So you had to put in some work just to get things going with him.
Dude, Lex is godlike.
Let's hear why Lex is so godlike.
All right. Oh my god. He has so much potential off anything. Like any combo, any hit you get will go into EX vacuum and extend your combo. On any knockdown, you can either get a free turret out, which will give you free armor and pressure, or you can put a mine anywhere you want on the screen, and they have to respect that unless it's Wonder Woman and she air dashes over it into you, which I found to be the only problem with that. Anytime you land his back forward 2, it's a hard knockdown, so you get free level 1 armor. If you get somebody in the corner, you could do meter burned unblockable, which is like the beam that comes off, but when you meter burn it, it comes off as missiles, and you literally just extend all of your combos with that in the corner. Like I made Zaf and I made like 74% 4-bar in the corner with that. Pretty much if you hit somebody in the first bar and you have 2 meters, they're pretty, like if they guess wrong, they're pretty much getting hit for 70%. No matter what. Like if you hit them with a mine, you just do jump into 1-1 EX vacuum and you just wall bounce and end your combo in whatever the hell you want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually didn't play around. So Tom Hanks was playing Lex, is doing really well. I actually didn't play him all that much, so even though like I'd be getting hit with things, I don't really know exactly what all they were all the time. But yeah, he's definitely a tricky character, and he has a lot going for him. I know the only tough thing is like his one, I guess, decent wake up. His dash is super punishable on block.
Yeah,
like wake ups in this game. Is it me, or does Wonder Woman have like no good wake ups in lasso stands?
She doesn't.
She gets like brutalized when you start bullying her.
Yeah, she doesn't have any good wake ups at all. I was able to abuse people playing Wonder Woman whenever I would knock them down, no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't know. I know the timing's a little bit different for wake ups, but when I was trying all of work, I mean, I think it boils down to the fact that in a lasso stance, a lot of her specials aren't very fast, and
Yeah.
that means when we try to do them on wake up, they still get stuffed a lot, and a lot of them don't have that much great utility on wake up. I haven't really found many good ones on wake up, but it's 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 honestly not that big of a deal if you know how to block, and you know you can tech roll a lot of things, and you can backdash sometimes on wake up, which will get you out of some situations. So you have enough options just universally that it doesn't become like this crippling weakness for the character. Like I never felt like, oh man, I'm done for because I'm just getting you know just horribly massacred through like vortexes, through like Batman vortexes or something like that.
Yeah.
Especially with like the Batman blocking his glide mix up tech that Rio posted.
Oh, that like people will think that works 100% of the time, but it doesn't because
Yeah.
I didn't know this, but when Batman does his cape, he could do like a dive out of it. Not the dive kick, but like the elbow slam or whatever.
Yeah. He can hit you with the people's elbow.
Yeah, pretty much that alone is a mix up. Like when I was playing on Friday, I'm not gonna name who it was though, showed me something with Batman where instead of ending all of your things in like a hard knockdown, I don't know what one of the strings are, but he ends with like a knee or something, and like you fly up in the air and you pretty much do like an instant air dive kick on the person on their wake up, and they have to guess every time.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was hoping people wouldn't jump to conclusions and start, throwing away their Batman cowls and saying I forfeit, because it's not that big of a deal. Although you can interrupt Batman's strings, definitely. With Wonder Woman, I got to the point where I'm doing that with down one spin in the demo, where that is a little rough. I'm not sure if that's going to be in the main game or not.
No idea.
That hurts because it's on a couple good strings too.
Yeah.
I mean, outside the being able to poke through it, his strings are really tricky, Batman's. Like the first time I started blocking Batman, I was like, why has everything got like highs and lows, like overheads and lows in it? Like every single string's got something in it that, I mean, I got used to it, but early on I was like, another string, another random overhead or low to take care of.
Yeah, that's like the most annoying thing with him. Like he's really just in your face, and when he gets momentum going, like it's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's still a really good character, especially if you get that rotation going with the bats. Where I mean, I think what we found in the demo generally is that even though a lot of people hyped up his Kung Lao spin, it's not really as good as using the bats as a projectile in general. And the
Yeah,
main reason
definitely.
why is because to use them as the Kung Lao spin, not talking as a combo extender, and you can shoot them as a combo extender too. So even then, it's not really that big of a deal. But generally, when you want to get the most out of the Kung Lao spin, which is just a free blow up on somebody's jump in, you have to rely on them to make a mistake, which means you can't use your bats until they mess up. Instead, you can be more proactive when shooting the bats, and that way you can make them play to your speed. And that means you're holding the cards. So what people have been doing with Batman's bats is instead of sitting on them to parry, they'll have two out. Well, at the start of the match, when you have three, you just activate them, and then you use them on a mix-up or to get in. And then when two regenerate, you pull them out. And then while you have the two, one is charging in the back. And then you use the two, and then you pretty much do this. You keep cycling the bats, so you almost always have bats at almost any given time, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the trade-off is you'll never have three at one time, but it doesn't matter because the Kung Lao spin isn't nearly as important as having the bats being able to shoot them, so you can get in for free and zone better and do better mix-ups and stay safe on stuff and extend combos. So to me, that's just a great way to manage his trade.
Yeah.
Have you guys had like the Batman players in here? Have you guys had a lot of experience with that? What do you guys think about that?
When I was mostly playing Batman, I didn't put tons of time. I actually almost forgot he had a trade button a lot of the time. I was kind of playing him like a pseudo Akuma from Street Fighter. I was just basically getting hard knockdown and doing mix up after mix up. It was one of the things that made me realize that I would never want to put all my time into Batman. Was I was not micromanaging his bats correctly, and outside of his vortexing, I wasn't really enjoying a lot of his mechanics.
Yeah, there was often times where I just like completely forgot about his trait as well. And it's not for a lack of it being useful. Obviously, it's very useful. It's just I think it's just adapting to the game in general. I've probably played the demo for maybe 12 hours and I still find myself playing matches where I just completely forget to activate the bats. I think the fact that once you activate them, just one little hit that you take will completely send them back kind of makes you just like put them off to the side because you don't want to waste the time on them even though obviously they come to great use. The best use that I've put them to is doing the combo. You know, the 2-2-3, and then jump two, and then back to a or back to three, and then the release the bats, and then the grapple hook, which is the 42% combo that he has that most people know about. And so that's what I've used him for. But beyond that, it's just pretty much like you said to apply pressure and stuff like that. But yeah, there's often times where I just completely forget it, and that's not like him alone. I just think I forget about the trait button in general. I haven't really applied it too much into the gameplay yet.
Oh yeah, that's totally just a gameplay mechanics thing. Because when I was running casuals with the guys in our scene, the first matches were so worried about just fundamentals, and we knew like a couple BNBs, so we're trying to land our BNBs. We're mostly worried about fundamentals. That for the first few matches, there nobody wagered. B, nobody used stage transitions, and there were hardly any traits. And then slowly, like a couple matches later, we might use like a stage transition. And I'm like, okay, we're used to the transitions, we're used to the hazards. Then, the wagers come in, and then, the traits, and eventually you end up sort of micromanaging all these things with a little bit more efficiency. But at first, you're just completely leaving out like over half the game. Like you're playing like the most bare bones version of Injustice. And I was there myself. It's a lot to get used to because the game has so much depth to it with all the mechanics. I mean, did you guys get that? Did you guys get that in early matches, like not even using the wager, the stage transitions, or the environmental hazards and stuff?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like I said, it's adapting to a new style of game. You know, I'm used to Mortal Kombat and some Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that. So just using like stage transitions and the trait button and stuff like that is just not something that I think about when I'm fighting. I'm thinking about how to set up combos or just watching what my opponent's doing rather than trying to set up four moves ahead using these trait buttons and stuff like that. So it's just all about adapting, and I'm sure once I get the full game and the more I play, the more I'll get used to using that and relying on that with what I'm doing. I just think, like I said, it's new, so it's not as in the forefront of my mind all the time. I think the most that I've adapted to would be the stage interactables I commonly use, but beyond that, yeah, I don't use the clashes very much at all. Like for the longest time, I didn't even know how to do them other than in one player when the computer would do it. So yeah, it's weird.
The
Yeah.
interactables are actually really cool, but a lot of them are really, really good. What do you guys think of the interactables?
Overpowered.
Overpowered?
They're over. Like
Damn.
at least right now, if they don't nerf them, they're overpowered. Like, how much does a water tower do to you? Like 20%.
Well, I found that like a lot of them are extremely difficult to dodge at certain ranges. Like
Yeah.
if you get to them, somebody once brought up to me this idea, and they were like, "Well, what's stopping a zoner from camping like a really, really good stage hazard and just chilling there and waiting until you get in range and then chucking it?" And if you don't have a teleport, I said it probably wouldn't be a big deal because I'm sure they would be easy to dodge. But then like there is definitely a range where no matter what you're doing, you're getting clocked by this thing. And there are a lot of setups into them for free damage, pretty much, because they're unblockable for like knockdowns and stuff. Granted, there are ways about this. Like for example, the bat signal or whatever. If you know somebody's going to be using it, you can try to dash in and get under them and anti them when they try to do it or stuff it. If they're really long range, you can back up to full screen, which is just out of range of it. I mean, there's definitely a range where it's extremely difficult to avoid. Another thing, now this I don't recommend really, unless you're godlike because it's technically you can do it, but it's tough. You can backdash because there's some invincibility. So like for certain hazards, you can like if you just see one coming and you have no other options, just try to backdash because you might be able to get through it. I mean, I've seen it happen a bunch of times. Like I've backdashed through the water tower like a bunch of times. So I mean, it's tough timing. It's not like something you just spam backdash and all of a sudden like nothing can hit you. But it's something. But I do agree they're really powerful. They're pretty potent tools.
They're annoying, is what they are.
I mean, a lot of the game, a lot of damage comes from a variety of places, whether it be combos, stage hazards, transitions. I'm going to ask a question, and we'll get back to their thoughts on the demo real soon, and I'm curious what the chat thinks, even though I can't see it.
I'll let you know.
Somebody will tell me. Someone will keep me in the loop. What do you guys think with how high the damage is? I mean, say, all right, we don't know how the final build is going to be, but say it's similar to the demo. 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5 in tournaments.
My vote is straight for 3 out of 5. Every fast-paced fighter with a non-traditional round system has eventually evolved to 3 out of 5 in tournaments, with Ultimate Marvel and Vampire Savior being predominant examples. And Injustice follows a very, very similar round system to Vampire Savior. It's 2 rounds on essentially 1 health bar, and the timer doesn't stop in between rounds.
And there is no major comeback factor in this game either.
Yes, all you have is wager, if you even want to consider that as some kind of comeback factor.
Yeah, and even that, like, it's so balanced in a way where, like, it's hard to say it's a comeback. I mean, it's because both people have it, and like you can there are many situations where, like, your opponent can put them in a situation to sort of negate your wager anyway. It depends on how they manage their meter and how you manage yours, but still, I wouldn't necessarily call that a straight comeback factor. But yeah, I mean, what else do you guys think? 3 out of 5, or you go and you're thinking 2 out of 3?
I
I like
3
3
out
to
of
5. Yeah.
If I were
Three.
playing a set, I would appreciate a 3 out of 5. Yeah, because this game, I mean, right now with how high damage the environmental hazards are and the stage transitions, and I could see things getting to a point, assuming they stay that way, because damage is only going to get higher. I mean, unless they nerf they do a universal damage nerf. But essentially, the more tech comes out, the more efficient we are at killing. Just generally, we get more efficient with our anti-airs. We get more efficient on converting and squeezing every inch of damage out of every single touch that we get on the enemy. And when there's so many ways to get damage, whether it be through the stage, whether through some really dirty mix-ups, or some the hazards, anything at all, you're gonna end up seeing people laying or hurting down, and we only get 1 breaker. So the first health bar is gonna fly by when somebody gets opened up. So I do think.
Yeah,
You cut out, Phase.
Oh man.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
Am I?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
Now you,
Never mind.
you're cutting out again.
Man, we should get him to like do like text to voice.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty funny.
So while he fixes that, do any of you guys have thoughts on the 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5?
Obviously that's not something that I'm not doing tournaments, so I don't really think about that kind of stuff. But just based on what you guys have been saying, I agree with you in the fact that 3 out of 5 would probably work out best from my limited knowledge of that kind of stuff.
So can you hear me again?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
I don't even know what's happening because I'm not touching anything. I have my hands elsewhere right now.
Of course you do.
You won't know where, but
I know where. It's
just know they're not on my headset.
okay.
But anyway, generally, I think when the game gets to the point where people, I guess, are wringing every little bit of damage out of all conversions, yeah, it's going to become a fast-paced game, and I do think 3 out of 5 will probably become the standard. But it's nice to see that people are talking about this. Another thing, I don't know if you guys noticed. What do you guys think? Well, you haven't really gotten a chance to. We haven't really gotten a chance to dig into it yet, but we know all about it. Because I'm not sure if I asked this with this exact panel, but how do you guys feel about the stage selection in Injustice? The whole, 2 people choose a stage.
I like it. I'm a Smash player, so
Okay.
I'm used to counter picking and stuff. So it'll bring like a whole other element to the game with stage hazards and whatnot on.
This is my view on it, and I want everybody to sort of share on this, but this is just my view. Like, if you do random stage instead on the first round, if there are, like, 15 stages with however many tiers on each stage, but say there are 15, whatever, let's just keep this simple, right? And you have a stage that in your mind gives you the definitive advantage. Great, godlike. That is 1 out of 15. And then your opponent has a stage that, assuming it's not the stage that you won, that that gives them an advantage. That is 2 out of 15. If you do random, there is a 2 out of 15 chance that one of you will have your home field and you will have the definitive advantage. But if you do the way where both people pick one, there is a 100% chance that somebody will have a definitive advantage. I don't know why we would do this at all. I think it seems more of like a casual, like for casuals. I don't know why we wouldn't just go random select in tournament.
Yeah,
Do
in
you
my
mean
opinion,
random select every round?
No, obviously the loser would get to pick.
Okay, okay, yeah, I agree with you then.
But
Like,
but then that whole two people picking thing wouldn't come into play in tournaments whatsoever.
yeah, that's
Like
true.
at no point would you use. I just want to know because I don't think I'm like the word of God when it comes to these things. Like somebody could be thinking of something that I haven't considering, and it could totally change my mind on the subject. So I'm just curious what you guys think. I just wanted to throw that out there though to put in both sides of the to show both sides of the argument.
I completely agree with that line of thinking. I feel like stages in this game are basically an interesting counter pick point. First match should be random, and loser should get their choice of stage.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any sort of preference on this?
I agreed with you in the fact that it's better to cross out a stage than pick what stage you want.
I wish they could have done that too, where if you could instead of two people picking a stage, two people strike a stage. So that way there's a stage you just pick one stage you don't want to deal with, and then it's gone. I think that would be kind of cool too.
That would be better.
That's a pretty Smash Bros way of doing things.
Well, yeah, like I don't want to play
Some
Unfounded
game-
Dreams. Come on.
You know. Yeah, well, Atlantis doesn't have a stage transition, so it's going to be the new Final Destination. Like,
Damn.
Atlantis, no stage hazards. What is it? Batman only.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a list of each stage and how many tiers they had, and Atlantis was the only one with one tier, meaning there were no transitions.
That's kind of good.
Metropolis has 3 stages.
Yeah, Metropolis has 3 tiers,
Jesus.
2 different transitions.
Yeah. So that's a pretty interesting stage. But yeah, I think as long as we avoid that situation where somebody's guaranteed to start just based on a coin flip to have a huge advantage, that really to me isn't really a comfortable territory. So, I mean, but like I said, for casuals, it's great. I think it's I think it's a really cool thing if you and your buddy are just like tooling around and one of you really happens to like the Joker's Asylum and the other's like, no, I hate the Joker, I want the regular Asylum. Then there you go. You've got that. Any other thoughts on that though? Because I know, like I said, it's something that tournament organizers, everyone in the community is going to have a say in it, and I just want to see what the temperature is like on it.
Yeah, I think like the first couple tournaments are gonna have to really like test the waters. I guess I don't know what they're gonna do because like first tournament's like Civil War the first weekend, like next weekend.
Days, not even a week after.
Yeah, days after.
You got Civil War.
Yeah.
So people are gonna be so jumpy. People better if you're gonna learn one thing before going to Civil War, learn an anti-air. Learn your best anti-air combo. People are gonna be so jumpy in the early life of a game. Jumping is just because people don't know their anti-airs yet. That takes a little bit more skill, some more like some more finesse and some fundamentals. You got to do your homework. So if anybody's going to Civil War, they won't body people. Then aside from character advice, learn some good anti-airs because you are going to need them. Lest you get jumping all day. Especially now, like since even though like cross-ups aren't anything new in fighting games, they're archaic. In NRS games they're new, so everyone's gonna be like, yee, like I can cross you up, like I want to jump all over you today. Because I can do that in Mortal Kombat.
I can guarantee anyone going to any kind of Injustice tournament, like close after release, you're going to see Batman and lots of Batman. And Batman loves the cross-ups.
Yeah, especially because people are going to be playing their demo guys. They got BMBs going in. I mean, 4 days of the game, like 3 or 4 days is enough to learn some stuff. And that, to me, might be more helpful. I mean, going in with Batman, people might know Batman. But if you actually do your homework real quick and you power level, like another character, whether it be, whoever you want, like your Doomsday or whoever.
It's going to be scary.
Yeah. Because people aren't gonna know. Like pretty much what I would do is I'd try to find a character that's not in the demo and find the character that's the dirtiest dirt. Like there's always a character in a game that has something that works on everybody until they're like explicitly told what this dirty trick is, and then it doesn't work anymore. But that's the kind of thing that you bring to Civil War. So look for that.
That's what I'm doing to Toryukin. It's like 3 weeks after release, so I'm just gonna find some dirty tricks with some character and
filthy gimmicks that just make people mad. And there's no way you would know this without having been told prior. Which, like I said, every game has shit like this.
I want to feel like disgusting after my tournament matches. Like,
yeah. It's, I mean, they're, like I said, to me, it's back in the day, a long time ago, one of those dirty tricks. It still works today, whatever. It still works today all day, every day, because it's a legit mix up. But back in the day, it was bordering on dirty trick. Low in back three into EX roll for Melina, like it worked on everybody. Just like the Melina like pseudo reset where you do like punch punch, you let him drop like 1-1, and then you do the up four.
Yeah.
That when I went to MLG, that worked on every single person I played.
So funny.
Whether it be like a brand new dude to like Detroit Ball, and every single person got hit by that.
So
So
funny.
that's what I would look for, is that dirty, shameless, filthy like gimmick tag. I don't know, but so you guys have all played the demo, right? Do you guys Are you guys, after playing the demo, more or less interested to play the characters in the demo?
Probably will never play Lex again when I get the full game.
You are less interested in all the characters of the demo now that you got to play them a little bit early.
Yeah.
I'm less interested all around. I mean, like, I told around with Batman just for the fact that he would interact with the environment the same way my characters would. But other than that, I have no interest in playing any of them once the main game drops.
I think I'll stick with Batman as like a secondary, but I will be, when I first get the game, I'm not going to jump right into Batman and, just play him for hours upon hours. That would be kind of dumb. I'll definitely be trying everybody out at least once, and other people that I've been excited to play for, such as like Green Arrow or Nightwing and Bane, or just anybody else that I've had any interest in. I'll be trying to learn them and get good with them before I touch Batman again, basically. But I wouldn't say that I'll never use Batman again just because he was in the demo. I mean, Sub-Zero was in the MK demo, and I still play Sub-Zero now and again. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying though. There's less interest and less intrigue in the character just because you've played them already a ton. That when you get the final game, you're gonna want to try everybody else out because they're new and fresh. But yeah, I think I'll go back to Batman a little bit eventually.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not always just that you played them, you got the chance to play them. It's just that maybe you played them and they aren't the way that you thought they would be.
Yeah, I mean, Batman is exactly how I thought he'd be, so I'm pleased with him. I definitely going like I like his playstyle, so I'll definitely use him in the future. But Lex Luthor and Wonder Woman, I didn't really have any desire to play them to begin with, so playing them in the demo is definitely going to mean they're going to be the last on my list to try in the final game, like ever again. So, if that's what you mean.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel a little bit less compelled to use Batman, but like I said, I found some really dirty Wonder Woman stuff, some really nice setups, good frame traps, solid combos. I found a character that I knew I was going to like, but I wasn't really betting on liking her playstyle more than Batman's, and that's exactly what happened. Um, so maybe I'll get lucky with other characters in the roster and I'll like them that much. But at the moment, like right now, Batman to me, he's like a tertiary fun character for me. He's not business anymore. I've passed my mantle off to Rapzilla.
Fair enough.
So wherever he is, AJ, I've given him the cowl.
He's somewhere screaming in happiness right now.
Yeah, he's psyched. I got to actually play him a little bit too, and he's playing a really solid Batman. He knows his stuff. Anti-air's on point. Mix-up's good. Combo's good. Everything's going really well with him.
It's good.
So, Denny, like, what do you guys think about the game in general? Because I asked about characters, we asked about the environmental hazards, but overall, like the feeling of the game, what do you guys think? Did it meet your expectations? Exceed? Do you have any problems that are with the system? What's up?
I personally have no problems. I love every aspect of it. I love being able to continue combos by hitting people in the air, and just like, I guess, the kind of like create a combo aspect in a sense with like hitting people off of the stage and whatnot. It's really something I like. So I like everything about it.
Yeah,
The demo definitely met my expectations. My biggest complaint is just there was no control scheme options in the demo, and the demo's a real pain for stick players.
Oh yeah, that is a horror. It's literally a horror story right there. Because that was a lot to get used to. The layout, not being able to change your layout in the demo was a little bit of a pain for me. Becoming honest. In fact, actually was playing pad. I was playing the game pretty much exclusively on pad last I played because I didn't really I wanted to change my stick layout and I couldn't. So I mean, pad on pad it feels great.
Yep, I'm in the same boat. I mean, I tried it on stick, and I just literally eventually gave up. The stick layout is so bad in the demo, and I just played the default pad settings.
I actually don't mind it.
You don't mind the stick? Yeah, I mean, I
No.
was starting to get used to it towards the end, but early on, I didn't like the meter burn. But then again, with Wonder Woman, it's like I barely even care because I'm not using that much meter burn with her. I mean, the nice thing is she does have EX Lasso, which what is like a 50%. And I finally know, by the way, I don't know if anybody was around for this. When anybody was around way back in the day on Injustice Live, when I was asking about EX Lasso, and Hector said, "What the fuck are you talking about?" in all caps. When I asked, I was like, "Hey, does EX Lasso do anything, thematic? Because it's the lasso of truth. Like, so does it have any sort of, gameplay buff or debuff?" And that's the answer I got. What the fuck are you talking about? Now we know that it's a good damage nerf for the opponent.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if she does, you can end combos with it. Like for example, if if you are fighting like I guess when the game comes out and they're heavier zoners, if even though Wonder Woman doesn't like need that much assistance getting in because she has so much air mobility, you can make it even harder on them by ending combos with EX Lasso. And meter's so plentiful in this game that when they're zoning you, they're going to be doing like half damage. And that's assuming you don't just bracelet parry their stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, some stuff's multi-hit, so it's tougher. I think like Batman, he has two batarangs. So yeah, it's I'm pretty sure it's a damage debuff. So
That's really good.
yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's pretty good. It adds a little bit of extra damage, and it gives you that. So it makes getting in back in a little bit easier, a little bit less stressful, and it puts you in an advantageous position.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask you something actually.
Yeah, what's up?
Whenever you're playing casuals and you're using Wonder Woman, how often are you parrying stuff?
It depends on who I'm playing, to be honest,
Really?
and what they're doing. Yeah. I mean, how many? Are you asking how many? How often am I parrying? Like, I'll
Like
tell you
just
one
to get
thing.
the damage buff, because like I don't know how much of a significant increase it is.
It's not
with it.
huge. It's not as big
Not?
as the EX Lasso is.
Okay.
It's not double damage. But what I will say is this: parry is really, really fast. So every once in a while, if they're just like footseeing me out, I'll just whiff a parry and then like I'll get meter for it. And it's
Oh,
really
yeah, it's
really
worth it.
fast. So like at full screen, like if I'm at full screen and I'm like doing a little bit of like a footsie thing, and for example they're doing like a setup or just like Lex is like throwing like a mine or something, and I'm not air dashing in yet, I'll maybe do like a bracelet or two, and you can get a little bit of meter that way. But when he shoots like his normal shot, yeah, I'll try to parry it. But the problem is like when you parry it and you have the damage buff, it's hard to really turn that into a mind game at the moment because like when you have the damage buff, that's a big flag that says, "Hey, I'm coming in because I have a damage
Yeah.
buff." You know what I mean?
It's
So,
true.
somebody asked if Wonder Woman's parry is for projectiles for normals. It's both. It parries high normals, but here's the problem: like it's really hard to like when you parry, it doesn't stop them from finishing their combo string. At least in the demo, I don't think. If I remember correctly, it doesn't stop them from finishing their string. But you just parry the first hit of the string, and then you can do whatever you want. So like having the reactions to then do something after parrying the first hit of their string. I think it's a little tough, but it does work on high attacks and it works on projectiles as well.
Oh wow. All right, that's what I want to know about that. That's all.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of parries, they've also confirmed with the demo that you cannot parry jump-ins.
Yeah.
We talked about that in the Batman vs. Flash battle arena, that it looked like that was a significant change. In previous battle arenas, Batman had parried a jump-in, and versus Flash, he could not. And with the demo, we know that that is just a mechanic. You cannot parry overheads.
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
That's something that became readily apparent when we were playing with Batman and trying to figure out like the best way to get into his hard knockdowns so that he could start his dive kick mix-ups. And yeah, on jump in. Another thing too is that as hinted or explicitly stated by NRS in here, Batman's grappler is pretty slow. So like you can't just on reaction it a lot of the time. His upward grapple.
Yeah.
So That makes it like his anti-air game. Although he does have some good anti-air normals, the anti-air batarang and the anti-air grapple, they're a little bit slower. So
Yeah, with my time with Batman, I found it more effective usually to just air to air and follow up with a combo.
his air airs are excellent.
Yeah, they're probably the best out of the characters in the demo.
Yeah, they're really solid. Batman's air to airs, he just hits you and it feels just like Mortal Kombat when you connect that jump and punch air to air. Do whatever you want. It feels a lot like that. I don't know if you guys noticed, but a lot of these combos, like for example the wall bounce combos, they felt so cross Tekken. Like when you do
Yeah.
then you do a wall bounce and then you jump and do a normal after the wall bounce and land and then complete a string with like another special. That felt so cross Tekken to me. Like my BMB with Wonder Woman felt almost like the same as my BMB with Lily, like in early cross Tekken. Especially because like Wonder Woman's back three, it does this spin where Lily does this spin as well for EX to wall bounce you. So
Yeah.
everything to me, like I start getting these cross Tekken flashbacks, and I'm like, these combos are so cross Tekken. I'm sure they're going to vary by character, but Wonder Woman specifically, I thought it was pretty cool. It's a very smooth transition for me having played those games. Yeah. And what do you guys think of the block where you crouch and you block?
I thought I was dumb at first.
Yeah, so did I. That was my first gut reaction. Like that's kind of stupid, but to be honest, it hasn't really come up. Like all cross ups are overhead, so you can't block cross ups for free by holding down. So it really didn't change much.
Yeah. Pretty much. The first time I held down, I was like, "Why am I blocking?" I don't remember anybody ever mentioning that until we got to demo, so I was a little confused. But it's whatever. I have jumping 3 with Lex, so I don't really care.
Somebody
I
asked
don't
if it's a
care.
bad thing. Instead of just typing it, if it's bad, like that reminds me of like cross Tekken combos. No, that's just like a superficial thing. Like just the look of the combo, like the way it was visually reminded me of cross Tekken. That's not a good or a bad thing. Like I like it. I thought some of the cross Tekken combos were really cool looking because they involve the wall bounce, and I think it gives that more, and this is an overused word, but it's sort of appropriate here in superheroes. When you're dealing with them, you want to they fight on like an epic scale. So wall bouncing and knocking them into things is about on the level of picking up the bat signal and hurling it at you. So it feels very appropriate. And there are no babalities, I don't think, in this game. I wish there were, but I'm going to bet no.
Yeah, I don't think there's finishers in general.
Superman
At
is in
least,
a diaper. Somebody did point that out. His regime costume. Yeah, he's in a diaper. That big red diaper he has.
Oh well.
Yeah, that is a little. I don't know. But another thing that is really cool. I don't know if you guys got to experiment a lot with it, but just like seeing all the ways that the environment disassembles and changes based on your actions. I mean, we've seen it in videos before, but it's so different when you're playing the game and you're seeing these things right up in your face, like falling in the background and the environment constantly changing. Like that to me really blew me away. The presentation of the game.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I don't know what other characters, but if you do like a super at the top of Gotham when all the power goes out in the background and stuff.
I mean,
At
stuff
least with Lex,
breaking
yeah.
and gradually falling apart. Like the city starts getting destroyed as well. It's not just the power going out. Things will start falling down. It's just really really cool. When I just look, the game is just gorgeous. When you look at it, it's even better in person. It's like almost the videos do not even do it justice.
yeah, Gotham was a very good stage to pick for the demo. I think it's got pretty cool transitions and it's got really neat thematics.
Somebody is asking about something that I don't have really a lot of answers to, but maybe you guys might. Somebody's asking about the Battle Edition, with a lot of them apparently being sold out very soon, or I believe NRS made a thread on Test Your Might about the stick editions, the collector's editions getting sold out quick, and then Battle Editions are going fast. Some people are asking about the stick again. Do you guys have better, like more developed details on the stick? I wasn't really in the market to buy a stick. I have one. I really like it. So I wasn't really looking at that edition. But to those of you who were, or anybody on the panel who was, do you know a lot about the stick that you can share with these guys just who are trying to figure out whether they want to pre-order it at the last second?
I'm pretty sure it's just made by PDP and they haven't released any info on it. And they released a statement. PDP released a statement saying they'd love to go into detail about the specs of the stick, but that's up to WB. Like WB has to give them the okay to do it, and they just never did. So who knows? I don't think there's really any in-depth info on it.
I'm going to assume it's the same parts as the MK1.
Yeah, I heard the same thing.
And I don't know, that doesn't interest me personally. I don't like bat tops at all. They feel super uncomfortable. So I don't know.
that's my biggest issue with the stick. I mean, I just like FaZe, I have a stick. I wasn't really interested at all in shopping around for the battle edition, but the bat top sticks are like very uncomfortable for me. I prefer ball tops.
Same.
Yeah, you get to hold them like a wine glass. You feel sophisticated. The bat top to hold like a club, like a barbarian, like a caveman beating rocks together, all uncivilized. You don't have the finesse of the ball top.
Finesse, wow.
Yeah,
You want to look gracious while you're playing out.
exactly. While embodying you, I want
Not like you're holding something else, right?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. this is not the time nor the place for that degree of debauchery. But yeah, okay. That's I guess it's to me what you guys said is not new information. So I guess not too much is new.
Yeah, nothing. For last I heard, we literally don't know the specs because they haven't been released, and that's where it stands.
That's a shame because I have a couple friends who were actually like thinking about buying it, but they really wanted to know. But you know, whatever. That's maybe we'll learn about it in the coming days. If not, it's a little late to pre-order it now. I think, like I said, almost all of them I think are nearing sold out or are sold out or
well.
or maybe there's just like a ton and they're just saying that. And they're just like, get them fast. There's like one left. There's like 1,000.
Their warehouse is full. Why isn't nobody buying them?
I don't even want to think about like the warehouses of like literally the landfill of Mortal Kombat versus DC copies that Walmart had to have in order to just give them away for free to people who get Injustice.
Oh God!
At that early. That's to me, it's like such a humorous thought. Like I want to meet the guy who goes to the Walmart at midnight, gets it, and is like, "Yo, let's pop in some MK versus DC." Like, this game looks sick. Like, why would I play this game with DC characters when I can have Mortal Kombat characters too? Like, I know somebody out there somewhere, statistically, has to be doing this, and I really want to see that guy. Let's see.
It'll be me.
It'll be you. Run some MK versus DC casuals.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get some sets in real quick.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to play like